So I've been offered this gimbal by Hohem, and I've been sort of thinking about getting a gimbal myself, and when they offered it to me I thought, well, why not? I could give it a go. This is not going to be an in-depth tutorial. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of everything. It's just really how I got on with it on our Denmark trip. We're in the middle of our Denmark trip and I have been using this, and I'll show you some of the shots I've created with it, and I'll let you know how I got on with it. So a gimbal is a mechanical stabilizer, and the purpose is to help you get more stable footage, and perhaps in some ways it helps you get a bit more creative with some of your shots. This gimbal is specifically designed for smartphones. If you're interested in a gimbal for your smartphone, stick around and I'll let you know how I got on. I'll change it again. That's pan tilt. That's pan follow mode, that is. So that should keep the horizon steady as I look across the lake or the river. It comes with a fabric bag, which is quite nice, and it's great to fit in my man bag. I can carry it around with me quite easily. It's not too heavy, and let me just show you how I unfold it and how quick it is to set up. So gimbal comes like this, so you can see it's fairly small. It's about the size of my hand. I'll put in how much it weighs and I'll put some of the specs on the screen. But all you do to set it up is unfold the arm. And it's got some tripod legs, and these are really handy for setting it up. So you pull these out and you fold them out like that, and you can stand it up. Just go back a bit. Stand up back a bit so you can get it. That's it. So that's it, ready to be set up. So take the phone. This is my wife's iPhone, and what you do is you get the arm that side to the right, and you turn the, doing this at an angle. So you turn it that way, and it's got some writing there. It tells you how to position the phone, and you put your phone in, open the clamp, get it roughly centralised like that, and you know it's going to be okay if it doesn't go to the side too much. That's pretty well balanced. That's all the balancing I've had to do on the previous, the bigger one, the MT2 iSteady. There's a load of balancing to be done. There's no real setup. The button on the side to switch it on, and that's it. You're ready to go. There is an app that comes with it. Right, so the size of it, the portability, it's just about perfect really for smartphones. I've got, this is the iPhone 16. This is your iPhone 16?
15.
15. Yeah, so iPhone 15 Pro, isn't it? But not the Max. I've got a Samsung Galaxy S24, and that's what I've been mainly using it for. I've just got my notes on the Samsung, so I'm just using this iPhone. But it is, I think the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is about the biggest you want to go. The screen of the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra is 7 inches and it's 300 grams, and it's about the maximum size. I've got the mouse case on the Samsung Galaxy at the moment, and that fits perfectly. I do have a quad lock case that I use when I'm cycling on my bike, and that makes it too big for the gimbal, so just think about which case you use and if you want to use this. Charging time, I'm never really sure when it's charged, if I'm perfectly honest. There's a green light on this. I don't know if it's because it's a demo model, but the green light flashes whilst it's charging, and it's supposed to go steady green when it's fully charged. I've been charging it overnight, so I honestly don't know how long it takes to charge. Battery life is pretty good if you don't use this AI tracker stroke fill light, and I'll come on to that a little bit later. Things to mention is obviously it's got the tripod, but if you look here, it's also got one of these 1/4-20 mounts, so if you want a bit more stabilisation or a bit more height, you can fit it to a standard tripod using that, so that's really useful. The little tripod which comes out here, it's okay. It's a little bit rocky, I think, and if it's a bit windy, I would probably want to use a bigger tripod, a more steady tripod. A couple of people I've seen reviewing this said that these legs can bend, so I haven't experienced that, but you can put them away, and it's just so useful really if you want to do a little bit of footage. Like I'll show you here, just tracking us walking along when we went to Bruges. Go on, you can do this. I normally film in landscape, and if you want to do some Instagram type posts or YouTube short videos, press that button in the middle, the mode button, and it goes into portrait mode, and that's really sort of useful. But I normally film that sort of mode there. Now all the controls are on here, but you have got this AI tracker, and I'll go into a little bit more detail on the AI tracker now. Just switch the gimbal on. I'll go into the Hohem Joy app, go to video, there's the video app, and I'm filming Jenny, filming me. Start it recording, and it's actually filming it. Now if Jenny makes an OK symbol, so that's it, it will actually follow Jenny now. So if I move around Jenny wherever I go, it's going to follow her. And that's what the AI tracking does. It keeps the person who made the symbol in the shot, so it doesn't matter where I go, up or down, it will keep them perfectly framed, and that is really, really useful. Right. One thing I should mention is that the AI tracker here, this light here, which is detachable, so you can detach it, and you don't need to have it on if you don't want to. It's got a couple of little clips to allow you to release it. I have to admit it's a little bit easy to knock that off if you're not careful. There we go. It's a little bit easy to knock that off if you're not careful, but you can see it's on because the red light's on, but it also doubles as a fill light. So if I hold it, it becomes a fill light. If I double click it, it changes colour, double click it again and it changes colour again, double click it and we're back to white. You can adjust the strength of it, and that light is really useful. You can keep it in the little bag and carry it around with you, and it just means you've got a light wherever you go, and that's one of the most useful features of the gimbal. Also the fact it does AI tracking as well. Right, the AI tracker has a few gestures that you can use to control it. The first one, and I've already shown you this, is this one, which gets the tracking working, so I can move about and it will follow me around. Stand up, sit down, and that's the one that you can use to follow people around. When you want it to stop, you simply hold your hand up and it stops. So now obviously it's not working, so start it with that symbol. Now you might find that you want something else in the shot, so you might have a sign behind you or a famous building or something, so you might want to move over. The other symbol you can use is this one, and the green light starts flashing at me now, so I can move over a little bit, and if I do that again, green light stops flashing, and now it will follow me, but it will leave a bit more of a gap, so you've reframed it. So if you want that to stop, hold the hand up again. Now the final one, let me just get it tracking again. The final one is to start and stop the video. and I really struggle with this. It's called shutter control, and I'll put the symbol on the screen because I can't make the symbol, which is crazy. And it's something like that, and I can't. It's these first 3 fingers folded over like that, and the same on that hand. Oh, I found it. So fortunately for me, this gimbal comes with a remote control, and this remote control is really, really useful, and it's one of the best features of this gimbal. It's got several buttons on it. It's got a little button down here that starts and stops the shutter. It's got a mode button, and that can switch between the different gimbal modes. So you've got pan follow, you've got pan tilt follow, you've got point of view, and you've got lock modes, and I'll go into those in a little bit more detail. You've got a joystick that can move it up and down and left and right. You've got a zoom control, which also doubles as a tilt, as a pan adjustment, and you've got some indicators on there. So the indicators tell you what mode you're in. If I change the mode, it tells you there, and that's the pan tilt. And I'll go into these in a little bit of detail. You've got point of view 1, and you've got the lock mode. That's the one I normally use, the pan follow mode or the pan tilt mode. So a really useful thing on there. It has got a mode button on the side as well, this little button here, and 2 presses on that and it recenters it. 3 presses on there, it spins it round, which is quite useful. 5 presses and it goes into calibration mode. So if you do need to calibrate it and it's a little wonky or whatever, you can actually recalibrate it. And 7 presses gets you into pairing mode for the Bluetooth. The shutter button also doubles as an on-off switch, and for switching from video to photo mode. I won't do it now, obviously, because I'm filming with it, but I can stop it by pressing. Okay, it's worth mentioning that this comes with an app as well. There's quite a few functions on it, and the app allows you to change focus, to adjust exposure values. It's got filters. It's quite a lot you can do with the app. You have to use the app with the gimbal so that the controls on the gimbal actually work, and it's a really good app. It also got a feature called Moments, and I think we can get to it if I can just look here. There's a little button there, and this is like a little storyboard thing, and you can choose different types of stories. It's got one in a harbour, it's got some in a harbour, different types of athletics. You're filming athletics. I think it has to download some of them. Just there we are. If you're walking in woodland, and it gives you all the sort of the little shots that you can do. And I think that's really good. So I've been using this gimbal for 3 weeks now, and how have I got on with it? I suppose you're all asking. A couple of negatives first though. It can only do a 180 spin. It's got this inception mode which turns the gimbal round, but it is limited to a 180 degree spin. That's not a big problem for me. I don't tend to use fancy shots like that. I found when I first started it, I couldn't update the firmware on it. The firmware is the software that controls the gimbal itself, using my Samsung Galaxy S4 Ultra phone here. But I did manage to update it with Jenny's iPhone, the old one, wasn't it? Which one was it?
I think it was an 11, wasn't it? That old one.
11, yeah, the iPhone 11. So I did manage to update it with the iPhone 11. Other negative really is the tripod legs. They're a little bit wobbly. I think if you want, you know, a bit of stability, you might want to put it on certainly if it's windy, you might want to put it on a stronger tripod, you know, a taller tripod. I have found when I've been filming in wind, and this happened when we were at Folkestone on the harbour, it was very windy, the wind pushes the phone, because it's quite a big area, this phone, and the motors have this thing that detects if they're being abused, basically, and the whole thing shuts down. The only way I can find it to wake it up again is to plug the power in, and that then wakes it up a bit. Positives, well, it fits in a bag. It fits in that little bag, and you can fit it in a fairly big pocket, or you can fit it in a handbag or a man bag. So that's really good. It's an all-in-one solution. That's one of the best things about it. So you've got a tripod, you've got a selfie stick. A selfie stick is really useful. I always forget to take selfies for my videos, so we've been using that quite a lot. AI tracking, that is really good. It's really useful, the AI tracker. It's particularly when you're on your own, you can film a shot and you can wander about and walk up and down and make it look like you've got someone filming for you, which if you're on your own is absolutely invaluable. You don't need to do any balancing other than getting the phone fairly central. You don't have to adjust things on the gimbal, so that's really good. There are lots of buttons. I really like this remote control. And that is so useful, being able to pull that off. I can find it now. There it is. You can pull that off, and then you can do everything there. It's Bluetooth from here to there, and then you can do all the adjustments with it, up and down, zoom and record and change the modes. Really good, really good. And I think that's unique. I haven't seen any others like that. There's a quick guide. I think this thing here. This is really good as well. You can put this in your pocket, and if you forget which buttons to press, and there are a lot of buttons to press, you can use the quick guide. So in conclusion, I think it's a really good gimbal. Would I recommend it? I think so. The first gimbal I ever tried was quite a complicated one. This is a lot simpler, and if you're interested in getting better shots in your videos, and particularly in your YouTube videos in my case, then yeah, definitely have a look at this. Watch some of the other reviews and see what they say. It's not perfect, nothing's perfect, but I think it's close to that for me. I've really enjoyed it. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you soon. Bye then.